and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is William Procida. Procida, right? Procida, good. Passed the first test. And he's CEO and founder of his own company, Procida Investment LLC?
Funding and advisors.
Funding and advisors, okay.
We lend and we advise.
It's close, it's close. He qualifies, you qualify. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm going to call you Billy because you said that's okay. And your company does real estate turnaround. Boy, you must be you must be busy turning things around.
That's actually our slogan: turning things around with capital and expertise.
Yeah. All right. Well, this show is called Getting Your Money's Worth, so let's get right to it. Lots of folks in this country now feel that they're certainly not getting their money's worth out of what they own, and I think, and don't know what to do. Should they buy? Should they sell? So let's get to the heart of it. What is the tempo of the market right now? If you were would you advise selling?
Well, let's talk about segmenting it. Okay.
Okay.
If you do not own a home today,
yes,
this is absolutely the best time in the world to buy a home, without question.
Right.
You can't time the market. You know, people are like, oh, I'm going to wait till it goes down 2% more.
No.
And when we're talking about homes, people have got to get it through their heads that a home is a home. It's not an investment.
I was going to say, this is not an investment strategy.
Yeah, but look, a home is an investment. It is probably everybody's most important investment. My point being, today is the best time to buy it. Is it going to go down anymore? I don't think so. If it does, it's 1 or 2%. Buy a home because you like it and because you're going to live in it.
So this is
in 10 years from now, it'll be worth a lot more.
So for first-time buyers, go for it.
First-time buyers, or a buyer who's in a position where if they're looking for a second home or anything, if you're looking to buy, today's a good time to buy. The other thing is, if you are in a position where you have good employment and you're looking to step up, don't worry about selling your house and thinking, okay, I'm going to sell it too cheap. You're going to be able to buy that house you're moving into, which is the next level house, at the same discount.
Right. So if you're discounting the house you're selling, the one you're purchasing is also being discounted.
Right. And since you're stepping up, the discount's bigger.
Right. So tell me something, that people who are first-timers or whatever their status, are they able to get mortgages these days?
Mortgages are available. They're certainly more difficult than back when they were.
All you had to do was breathe, and you could get a mortgage.
Actually, they gave mortgages to dead people, so you didn't technically have to breathe.
Oh, okay.
But yes, if you're working, you can get a mortgage. If you're under the FHA limits, which I forget the numbers exactly now, you can get it with as low as 3% down and very favorable rates. We haven't seen rates like this forever. But I think the banks are getting a little bit more intelligent about the process of reviewing a mortgage application.
Right.
So it's 30 to 45 days today when it was 2 weeks or 10 days.
And you have to have a lot of cash up front, Billy?
Under the FHA and some of the government programs, it's as little as 3% down.
Oh, really?
On jumbos, you certainly need 10 to 20% down. Right. Personally speaking, I think you should not buy a house unless you can afford to put down 10%. If you cannot afford to put down 10%, you're in the wrong price bracket.
Okay.
In fact,
that's a very good tip.
Better, you should put down 20%.
Right.
Because then you're not so worried about a little tiny fluctuation in value.
And also, things happen aside from your mortgage. There's the maintenance of the house.
And that's
whatever.
The biggest mistake
the roof could leak,
make.
or
exactly.
the HVAC could break, or whatever.
Theoretically, you're supposed to always be saving a capital account. In commercial real estate, which is what I do most of.
Right.
You know, when we have a big office building or a big apartment building, every year we set aside what's called capital reserves, so that we don't, when we have to fix the roof, we don't that year go, oh my God, where are we going to get the cash? You've saved it up over time. Right. So that's good discipline. Save money for repairs.
You know, just segueing a little bit from residential and or including commercial. History has shown us that folks who got really rich, who made a lot of serious money and have kept it, have been folks who've invested in real estate.
Right, best investment.
And you know, you say to yourself, well, listen, unlike the stock market, maybe it'll go up, maybe it'll go down, like the stock market, but unlike it, it won't disappear.
Right.
You can touch it, feel it, have it.
Real estate values have gone up for the past 200 years.
Is that still legitimate?
Yes.
Is that still legitimate to believe that?
Yes. You have to understand something about real estate particularly. Over 100 years, if you go back, it's a straight line, right? Average value. But yet it goes like this, right? So what makes it go up? What makes it go down? Liquidity, which is banks pushing money into the market, creates euphoria because it's easy to borrow money and it makes values go up. When they pull liquidity out of the market, values go down. So when you look at the wave, right, and you draw a line through it, it's only 2 times in every cycle that value actually matches. And what that point of time is, it's the most intelligent liquidity period. In other words, things were never worth as much as they were worth in 2004 and 5 when they were giving money away.
They called it the real estate bubble or
right.
Right.
And they were never as bad as they were in 2008, 9, and 10.
Right.
Somewhere in the middle is true value. But long term, real estate doesn't go away. They're not making any more land. Construction costs are going through the roof, and so are commodity prices for construction. So a building has got nowhere to go up but up in value. Any building, you want to buy a 2-family house, an apartment house, a strip center, great investment. And just know what you're doing.
And I suppose the other thing that I want you to touch on is the fact that for a lot of folks whose real estate values have gone down, or who are underwater. That's the term. If you owe more than it's worth, it's because they might have used their real estate as a piggy bank.
Well, look, there were people that were refinancing every dime out of their house.
Every time they wanted a vacation or whatever they wanted, they refinanced.
Listen, unfortunately, it's nothing different than our government's doing right now, right?
Well,
they're borrowing money. They're spending more money than they take in, okay? Our society in general has to learn that you cannot keep borrowing for things you can't afford. Now, you had people making $30,000 a year with 10 houses borrowing 98%, sometimes 102%. I don't feel bad for those people. There were people who were first-time home buyers who entered the market in 2004 to 2007. I do feel bad for them because they overpaid by 20 or 30% above where intrinsic value was.
Right.
And now the bank took their house. I feel bad about that. But the people who remortgaged their house 5 times so they could go on vacation or buy a new car, I don't feel so bad.
Which brings up the conundrum, not for this discussion though, that where on earth were the banks when they gave money to all these people who didn't need them?
Very simple. Absolute greed.
Greed, right.
Absolute greed, and it's horrific that our government not only let them perpetrate this entire fraud, but then gave them billions of dollars to bail them out.
Right.
Of mine and your money.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people think the taxpayers aren't getting their money's worth.
Oh, and it's going to happen all over again. One thing's for sure, you don't forget, the S&L crisis of 88 to 92.
That was savings and loan crisis for our viewers.
That was not that long ago. Yeah. And look, it happened again, and it's going to happen again.
I suppose historically we have short memories.
Very short memories.
Very short memories.
And
So the residential market is really a tough gig right now for private
people looking for a home.
It's a tough gig. Or wanting to keep their home. There's, aside from the scams, the property taxes, there's a lot to be said for those folks who are struggling to maintain the American dream of owning a home. Mm. Now, what about you have all these commercial developers. Many of them overpaid for their developments, didn't they?
They're in the same shape as the homeowners.
Aren't they? Only on a bigger scale.
Only on a bigger scale. There are a lot of people who bought $100 million buildings that are now worth 50 or 60 or 70.
Right.
And they owe 80 or 90.
Right. So how when you say turnaround, what strategies do you use for them? Are any of those strategies also applicable to private homeowners?
Well, look, at private homeowners and commercial, the banks do sell at a discount. We buy debt on commercial real estate at a discount. So banks owed $20 million. We might buy that for 10, 12, or 14. Then we fix the asset, and we put more money into it to fix it, reposition it, reoccupy it. And that's how we create value.
And that person who has that kind of money staying power has a chance to make a lot of money, right?
In a homeowner's situation, the same thing does exist. You keep calling that bank. If you want to stay in that house, if you have income. I mean, look, if you have no income,
you're out of luck.
But there are government programs to apply to.
Right.
I mean, the internet's a great thing. Keep researching on the internet. Whatever your situation is, there's something on the internet. And yes, you're right. Beware of scams.
Right.
Check with the Better Business Bureau, Consumer Services. But keep calling your bank, because your bank does not want your house. They got enough houses. They want to modify your mortgage if possible. So if your house is worth $200 and you owe $300, tell them, look, I'm willing to pay on $200,000. Right. It's better than them foreclosing on you, which takes 3 years, cost them a fortune. They're going to do better.
Exactly. So perseverance pays off.
Perseverance, and keep calling that bank.
Right. When you are researching a property for one of your clients to buy, can you tell me what is the single most important variable you look for?
Well, on the commercial side. Just pure logic. Okay? You know.
Who says the logic of the buyers?
Well, just because somebody says something, an apartment in Manhattan is worth $5 million, don't necessarily mean it is.
Right.
You know, you wanna be conservative in whatever you think it's going to be worth at the end. In other words, if I think I'm going to build a building, and if today the market is $1,500 a foot, well, I'm not going to project 15. I'm going to project 1,200. So you have
to be very conservative in your estimate.
Yeah. The key to real estate is delivering the product on time and on budget when in commercial. And what the value is afterwards, who knows? Because remember, when you build a building, you start today, you don't finish for 3 years. So you have to have a crystal ball.
Transferring that when you are buying a house, is it location? What is the single best, most important variable?
I think a house is a personal issue.
Completely.
It's
not transferable skill.
I think it's where do you want to be and why.
Yeah.
Is it you want to be? I mean, they do believe today you want with gas prices, you want to be close to your work.
Right.
The days of the hour. The 50-mile commute
are over.
You know, we're here in New York. I remember when everybody in the 80s started to move up to Orange County, which was a 60-mile drive, and everybody was like, no problem. You know, at $4.50 gas price, and now they've made the George Washington Bridge $10. That's not such a good deal anymore.
You know, we only have a minute left, Billy, and in that minute left, what does your crystal ball tell you about the resurgence of the real estate market?
Look, real estate always goes up. It's just a question of time. You see, the media has hyped it into this, it's bad. So, you know, if there's any one thing for sure, is whatever the cable news is saying, go the other way.
Right. It's like the stock market. When everybody's investing, stay away.
Exactly. So I think that, look, they're not building any more houses. Therefore, we have a pent-up demand of people wanting to buy houses. Now's the time to buy.
And even in your commercial land, there's some pent-up cash that people are looking to spend.
There's a lot of cash on the sidelines. This is a great country. Our particular New York City metro area is the best part of the country as far as I'm concerned when it comes to real estate value. If you're looking to invest, just invest smart. Invest with people that know what they're doing.
And you have your website, right?
Yes, you can go to our website, Procida.com. You can invest with us.
And you can answer some questions about it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
I'm Judith West. The show is Getting Your Money's Worth. Thank you for watching.